Now, certainly Walker Kessler's playing well, and he's captured the attention of a lot of us fans. I may kind of be a little bit more on the crazy side of things. I'm a huge fan of Walker Kessler. What I think he's doing is just incredible. From that first preseason game, I have just been all in on Walker Kessler, and I think he's just doing incredible stuff. If we kind of look at the timeline of Walker, what's kind of happened, the Jazz trade for him in June. Injury prevents him from participating in any summer league, but he immediately becomes the backup center in preseason. Right, that first preseason game, he's the backup. And we'd kind of been hearing during training camp, and we saw his media day interview, and I kind of got the impression that, hey, he's very cerebral, he's got a high IQ, and he's really intent on learning and showing what he's working on. And I thought that immediately played out when he became the immediate backup center in preseason. It wasn't even a question with Cody Zeller and Udoka Azubuike that Kessler was the guy to come off the bench in that center spot. So then as time went on, we got into the regular season. He started carving out a consistent 15 to 20 minutes of playing time. And after a while, I thought, man, this guy's got to get more playing time. And he started to get more playing time. In fact, he just finished a stretch of starting. Some of it was due to Kelly Olynyk being out with that ankle injury, but also part of the 6 games that he started have been certain matchups have warranted playing Markkanen, Kessler, and Olynyk all together. So now that we're nearly halfway through the season, if we look at some of his performance, we can see just how impactful he is and why there's such craze about him. Okay, so there's 41 centers in the NBA that have 10 or fewer games starting, but have played 100 or more total minutes. So 41 backup centers, basically. Walker ranks 3rd in box plus minus. That's a stat from Basketball Reference. It has its flaws, similar to a lot of these advanced plus minus stats. But in a way, it's trying to take your box score stats and trying to estimate and enrich the traditional plus minus impact stat that we have. So he ranks 3rd out of 41 players there. Okay, he ranks 4th in minutes, 7th in efficiency, 35th in usage. I think those all pass the smell test for sure. If you look at the raw on-off plus-minus numbers, the Jazz with Kessler on the floor are a +5 for the entire season per 100 possessions. That means if 2 teams played 100 possessions, the Jazz would have outscored the other team by 5 points. That's exactly what you want. That's with Walker Kessler on the floor. With Walker Kessler off the floor, the Jazz have been a -1.7 per 100 possessions. If we play 100 possessions, the Jazz would have been outscored by 1.7 points on average. So this is really interesting. It's particularly interesting now because Walker Kessler has started 6 games. Okay, we are nearly halfway through the season. Okay, so we aren't dealing with as much small sample size theater anymore. We've also had big stretches where Mike Conley has been missing, and a small stretch without Colin Sexton, Rudy Gay. So it's not like we've just had everybody, and Kessler has kind of been, localized to one role. He's really been doing a ton of stuff with a ton of different players and still having the success. If you look at the Jazz just starting with Kessler, we're 3-3, and Kessler himself has the 4th highest plus minus and 2nd among starters of anybody who has played in the 6 games where Kessler started. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. He's deserving to start sooner than later. In my opinion, Kelly can take Jared Vanderbilt's start in the starting lineup. Kelly can come off the bench. It really doesn't matter to me. I think ultimately the minutes can stay about the same. You cycle in Kessler 24 to 30 minutes a night, and then you deploy Kelly Olynyk in all of those other minutes, and you bring in Kelly at the 4 a lot of times as well, so you can play them together. In my opinion, I'm really hoping that Walker Kessler kind of ascends to this Ivica Zubac role that he has in LA for the Clippers. Okay, Ivica Zubac is the only real center that the Clippers have. He starts every game unless there's a weird matchup, and he's in that 24 to 30 minutes a night. And every other lineup that doesn't feature Zubac has 5-out potential. A lot of wings, a lot of length, and a lot of shooting. I think that's kind of the route the Jazz have to go. And I'm hopeful that Walker Kessler can be that Ivica Zubac, and it would bring just a massive element to the Utah Jazz. They're really set up well, and there's a ton of Walker Kessler craze, and I guess I'm leading that parade.